Welcome to episode 1 of the story behind the picture. I've been producing the digital Apoptosis photoblog since February of 2002, and recently I was wondering what else I could do with it. Yesterday I had the idea of producing a video blog, which you're seeing right now, that's called The Story Behind the Picture, where first myself and maybe later on some invited photobloggers would narrate the story behind some of their favorite images. After making the first version, I realized it was a little bit too serious, and those that know me know that I don't do serious very well, so I've decided to add a few more wrinkles that would make it much more entertaining. So, where to start? Since my earliest days of doing digital apoptosis, I got into the habit of publishing some kind of top 10 list every 3 months. The last one, published on August 1st, is as good a place to start as any. Our first picture was taken at Montreal's Notre-Dame-des-Neiges Cemetery, which has been in lockout since mid-May. No employees means no landscaping. We checked out the area last June, and to be frank, it was really cool to see nature taking over the place. Perhaps understandably, but management was not too pleased to see us walking around and taking pictures, so we were invited to leave. Last July, we spent 2 weeks in Hawaii on the island of Oahu. East of Honolulu lies Diamond Head Mountain, an extinct volcano which is fairly easy to climb, assuming of course that you're willing to fight your way through hundreds of tourists. The view from up there was certainly worth it, as you can see from this image of Diamond Head Lighthouse. Our next image is entitled A Night at the Theater. I have a friend who works for a big financial house, and he managed to get some tickets to a wrestling gala at Bell Center. Alright, actually nobody at his company wanted them. Let me tell you, that stuff looks even more fake when it's live rather than on TV. We didn't really know any of the fighters at the time, but that was soon to change. The guy on the ring with the red pants, that's Chris Benoit. 1 month after this fight, he killed his wife and young son, and then he hung himself in his Atlanta home. One of the coolest things that we did in Hawaii was a wildlife cruise on the western shore of Oahu. Because we were accompanied by a marine biologist, we were allowed to swim with a pod of spinner dolphins. As I swam behind the pod, one of the dolphins did what anybody would do at the end of a large meal. I was swimming pretty fast, and I didn't really have the time to react, and thus drifted right into that brown cloud. We also saw spinner dolphin at Waimea Beach, which is famous for its 50-foot waves. Although in summer, the sea on the North Shore is much calmer, and people tended to swim towards the dolphins, which made the lifeguards very unhappy, as they are a protected species. Every now and then, they would send warnings through the PA system that dolphin pods are often accompanied by very large predators. They actually say it like that. And that worked about just as well as threatening them with a $1,000 fine. These are simply water clovers that we saw at the aquatic park at the Montreal Botanical Gardens. That's definitely a place we wish we could go more often, but unfortunately it's on the other side of town. For a long weekend in May, my father, brothers, and myself were lucky enough to get a cottage at the Mastigouche Nature Reserve, north of Montreal. Every evening, the park ranger would organize a drawing to see who could go to which lake. Lake Elliott, illustrated here, was one of the most productive lakes in the area, and we were lucky enough to go there twice. During our trip to El Salvador last Easter, I promised myself to try to take more portraits instead of the usual landscapes. This grandmother and grandchild are from the Pipil tribe, Native Americans of western El Salvador. One of the most entertaining features in Oahu's Waimea Bay is this very large rock. At the bottom you would see two small yellow signs that would warn people that it is forbidden to climb up and jump off the rock. I imagine they're only there for liability purposes. For this photographer, the rock at Waimea Beach was especially interesting at sunset. I would take multiple pictures under continuous shooting conditions and then combine them in Photoshop, producing results like you see here. Both my daughters and my wife jumped off the rock, but I didn't. Man, it's a good thing everybody knows first episodes always suck.